All right, so here we are back at the bench again. Early day in October 1, actually. I got this stone out. Finally, I knew it was here, and I just didn't know where it was. It was shoved in a box next to this big honking thing. You can't see it; it's off camera. Anyway, I was hiding, and a friend of mine, Nelson, was like looking for a stone. He was looking for something interesting, and I knew this thing was here, and it just took me some time to get to it. So I just want to put it out there and show this stone off a little bit, I guess. You can look at the back. It's got some kawa on it. It's a little on the slim side. You know, I got a little kawa like running up on the side over there and what have you. And it's sealed. It's just not uber sealed. It's like a light coat, but it's like a very, very hard stone. And I don't think it needs to be coated again. I can't even remember if, no, I didn't seal this. I think this came to me like this. I had it a while. Anyway, so what this is, right? This is an interesting stone. It's Oozuku Gousa, you know, and Gousa is a strata. It's a strata, whatever. It's kind of an enigma because it doesn't really have a home. People say it's in between Tome and Asia, Asia being deeper, you know, and deeper doesn't mean harder because of the way that the seams fold, but it is basically a deeper strata. Asia, a lot of Karasu, not all, but a bunch comes from Asia, and not really sure what that's all about. Anyway, I had asked somebody for some Gousa stones, and you know, you're never there when it's being extricated from the ground, so you don't know. So you have to rely on your source. And I got a few stones, and they were more Gousa, and this is the last one. The other two have sold, and Nelson asked for something interesting because he was like at that point where we wanted to transition into something. You know, I totally understand that, but a lot of stones have come and gone since then. And I mean, for all I know, he's moved on. I don't know. I haven't even emailed him about it yet because I just basically finished lapping this like right now. Trying to get the focus straight on this thing. All right. So you know, just to go back to the kawa for a second, you can see down here we have that, it's going to show us a little reddish, whatever. You can see that there's black in there, and you can also, if you have a loop, you can go down on this, and you can see some sparkly bits in it. And I know. You read on the internet that black skin with sparkly bits means it's from Nakayama. I want to tell you a secret. That's not true. Anyway, I mean, it could be true. It could be like a black skin with sparkly bits could be from Nakayama, but here you have one with it. It's not very black, but it's there. You can definitely see the black in person and sparkly bits. And I know the wise old coot with that bit of information that he's using to work his, what do you call it, politricks and shell game. He would just say, oh no, that's not the skin I mean. It's like it's black, it's got specks. I mean, please. Talk to people in Japan, real people that really are in this business, and they'll all tell you the same thing. It's like, sometimes you can get an idea about where a stone might, with a capital M, might be able to get an idea where a stone could be from. But, you know, even people who have families in the business of quarrying these stones, you know, for many generations, will usually step back and be very humble about their approach to it and not really overly commit to anything, you know. You could have a stone with 10 tells and maybe then, you know, but more than likely they'll tell you where it's from because they basically know who took it out of the ground and where it came from. Anyway, so none of that's really important. I just want to go over that. You don't often see Oozuku Gousa. It's kind of a special thing. And again, it came to me like no stamps, and I've already honed on it. Honed on it before I lapped it. I do that a lot actually, just to try and get a feel for things. And yeah, do you hear that? You can hear that, right? It's a very high pitched kind of scraping sound that you won't. Let me see if we can have the water on it. I don't know. That's a very nice tone. What does the tone mean? It doesn't mean anything. All right, you can't like just get one piece of information and expect it to give you like the genetic makeup of the stone. That's not going to happen. You just got to factor everything in, and it takes a long time to figure stuff out. And I understand when people start honing, and you got a couple of things going on. You get frustrated because your edge isn't where you want it to be, or you've been reading a lot of posts on a forum, and everybody that started honing when you did is saying that they get BBS shaves with one pass, and you're not getting that, and you get frustrated, and then there's the expertitis. Everybody wants to be like the all-knowing of everything, and a couple of things, nobody is the all-knowing of everything. People who just started out, like, in the first couple of years, are just starting out, I remember this guy, he owns a lot for people, but he emailed me, messaged me on a shaving forum to thank me for starting him off, and he was alluding to his current state of prowess, and I'm reading it and I'm like saying to myself, dude, you're still a rank beginner. And that's, I say that sort of condescendingly, but only because he was being so haughty and pompous in his email to me. I take everything at face value and go from there. When you knew, and that's it. And you stay new for a really long time. These stones hold a lot of secrets and information, and you're not going to get it out of it. You're not going to get that wisdom from 10, 20, 30 shaves. It's just not going to happen. It just takes time. It takes a lot of comparison. It takes a lot of comparison to different stones. Like I have, hundreds of stones in like my mind at this point, and every time I pick one up, to me it's like brand new, and take it from there. And as I go along, it can or maybe might not remind me of a stone I used to have, and I start making comparison. I start thinking of things, and I might check my notes and think about it a little bit, but mostly I just take every stone for what it is. I don't look at a stone and pretend I know it. Every stone's a little different. Every day, any stone can be a little different. The relative humidity, what it is, it could just change the top surface of your stone just a little bit, and then things are a little different. And if you don't think that those things go on, then you have a few more hundred blades to hone, I suppose, because they do go on. Anyway, this stone here, I'm honing. My feedback is like, it's very near that melted chocolate bar feeling, more like a melted butter. It's very slick. It's not dead. It's very alive, but it's subtle. This is like, this is like a stone that, like, after you hone on 20 or 30 different hones, like, you can just be like, whoa, this really has like some sort of special character. That's what Nelson was looking for, was something with a little bit of character. Watch my undercut. See, I'm losing it up there at the toe. That's because of the warp in the blade. So when you see me do these like little crazy strokes where like it doesn't make any sense, it seemingly doesn't make any sense. That's what it's all about, you know. And then sometimes you'll see me do stuff like I'll just come right in like this, you know, and just work on this section here, you know. You can do that, right? There's no harm in that. In fact, there's a lot of good in it, because sometimes, you know, when you're rolling, right? When you're rolling, the whole edge isn't on the stone at the same time. So me focusing here is no different than doing a rolling stroke. It's like doing a whole bunch of them all at once. All right. And, you know, sometimes you'll notice I'll start my stroke in either direction. I might be here. You know, and I've had a couple of people email. They're like, oh, it looks like you're not hitting the heel. Well, no, I do hit the heel. Okay. And I am conscious of that. But when I move forward, most blades have distractions in the grind and in the edge, and they've been abused. I mean, look at the spine wear on this thing. I mean, it's like, here, let me wipe that off so you can see. You know, I'm not cut myself. Can I get a good angle? I mean, look at it. I mean, it's fat, and it gets skinny over there, then it gets fat again. You know, you're combating years, decades, you know, maybe even a century of misuse or just use. You know, stuff wears, and it doesn't always wear evenly, you know. In fact, it most often isn't ever going to wear evenly, because when you're shaving, you're wearing the edge differently in different places due to differences in, like, your beard, and like you may go over with the toe a couple of times, like under your nose, and put a little extra wear on it. That all adds up. So when you're honing, it isn't just a done. Okay. Yeah, certainly that can happen, but with these older blades, you know, there's going to be a lot of times when you have to improvise. You know, let me see if I can guide this. And yeah, I'm not really picking up undercut like I want. Yeah, this blade has a shit ton of shaves on it, so hold on a second. Yep. Yeah. What am I going to do is I'm going to go a step back from Tomo, because I'm not getting the sensation that I'm looking for. I'm not getting the tell in my undercut that I'm looking for. Even though the stone isn't like, you know, I don't know this stone like the back of my left hand, because I've only got a modicum shaving honing time on. I got some, and you know, I can usually adjust on the fly pretty easily. The benefit of having done this a bazillion times. All right, let me just get a feel. I'm using my left hand here to roll, and I'm also using it to pick up on whether or not I have some sort of weirdo unevenness up at the toe. Oh, that was Koma Nagura, by the way. Yeah, I'm fairly certain I don't need to drop back past Koma. You know, just the way I kind of sense it. Bobbled it right there. If you're going to bobble it, make sure you don't drop it on the edge, because that'll really ruin your day. But, yeah, this is coming up a lot faster now. This Koma's like super, super fast, you know, and maybe super fine compared to, you know, like Majiro and Tenju. A lot of them. Some Majiro are very fine. Almost Koma. But, thing is, it does its job really, really fast. People ask, well, you know, fast, how can it be fast if like Botan is coarser? It's like, you know, things are relative, you know, and first of all, there's no reason to be comparing Botan to Koma, because it's like comparing an apple to an orange, and you may feel a need to do that. I, however, have better things to do. So there's that, but I got a little bit of moisture on my finger causing me to slip. Wipe that off. All right. A little more secure now. I'm also up on the die today, and I don't do this that often, but I wanted to try it with the second camera so I could change the angle so I give you a little bit more like here. So anyway, yeah, this is coming now. This is where I want it. You know, I still have to do this. I don't have to do it that way, but that's my thing. So I'm making this little sort of rat tail thing to get up into the toe so the polish there is as even as I need it to be, want it to be. Yeah, and I can feel that there was a little bit, it's like right there. It's right in that last little toe section where there's just a little hint of it not being as smooth as I wanted. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go up in there. A little bit extra work. All right. Use my circles for that because it helps me keep the steel on the stone. And I don't have to come back and do like a stroke. I can just ride it. You know what I'm saying? I can just do this. And yeah, we're good now. Yeah, so now I feel as though the polish on the steel is even all the way from heel to the tip of the toe. And I think that was my problem before. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of this. Closing it off. All right, so I'm actually going to change domos too. I moved to this one. It's a little softer. The break is a little faster. I don't know if you saw that there was a little bit of dryness occurring back down here. It's a strange stone like that. It alludes to like maybe wanting to be a little thirsty, but it's not really thirsty, but it will soak up some water. And I haven't really figured that part out. It's not that thick of a stone, so there isn't that much room for the water to travel in. So anyway, well, you can see my undercut here is a lot better. All right. And this tomo is a little bit faster. I like both of them, but most of the time I'll grab the other one. But this is an excellent piece too, and it's sort of like an Old Faithful type of stone. I can work with it with any steel and any stone. I kind of know where I'm going to wind up, and when I figure out exactly where I wind up, then I can judge for my next honing. Excuse me. What my approach is going to be. You know, and that's another thing. It's like just because you hone something, it doesn't mean you're done with it. You know, it doesn't mean you hit like the pinnacle. It doesn't mean you hit like, you know, some level of perfection that can't be, I don't know what you want to call it, challenged or, you know, whatever, superseded. But it's a funny type of thing because, you know, I'll hone this and I'll have this killer shave. It'll be awesome, you know, but then I'll be thinking about it. I'll be like, you know, I want to change the personality a little bit. I want it to be a little bit more aggressive. I want it to be a little bit more intense. I want it to be a little bit more tedious, that type of a thing. You know, and again, as I'm coming in, right, you see my undercut's a lot better. I can feel that smoothness that I establish on Koma from stem to stern is still there. Occasionally, if you just marginalize that effort on the previous Nagura, if you just got to that point, you'll come to your next Nagura and you'll feel that roughness back. And what that means is stop, go back. You didn't do your job right before. You know, you have to go past where you need to be sometime. There's this natural seesaw that I'll get into someday, but, you know, the layman's version is broken down coma will often be, like slurry, right? Broken down coma slurry will often be finer than your starting slurry on tomo. And this isn't always the case, and it's not a rule, so don't go running to your nearest forum and look, Keith said that there's a lot in here. There's a lot, okay? So just hold back and try and internalize what I'm talking about, all right? There are very few absolutes when you're honing, all right? But that's one of the theories that we're working with, and so that toggle that we're talking about, ending with finer and coming back in coarser, but what happens is this, when this breaks down all the way, it's way finer than coma ever will be, right? So there's a seesaw in there that we're riding. It's like a knife edge, and that's what we're working, when we're honing. And yes, we can just, 1K, 3K, 5K, 8K, 12K, done, we're done, that's it, it's over, and then maybe we throw in a natural, and then, and then we're done. I don't hone that way. I look at this is a really personal thing, My edge is an extension of my honing experience every time I sit down to make an edge. It's not a matter of whether or not I hone better than somebody else. It's a matter of whether or not I'm honing in a way that pleases me. And, I feel dialed into it. It's like when I make espresso, right? I can just slap 14 grams into the basket and tamp it down and, hit the button and count, 20 seconds and be like, yeah, okay, that's fine. But I don't, okay? Because like this morning I did 15.5 grams. Yesterday I did 16, all right? Yesterday I tamped harder than I did today, so my pull yesterday was shorter than it was today. In other words, I got less out of the spout, but it was a lot thicker, but it was still really good. See what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Changes, differences, being engaged with the craft and the hone and the stone and understanding. That's why, I tell people, they email me through Etsy, they message me and they're like, oh, I'm looking for another stone. I'm like, instead of buying another stone, maybe like that Tomo Nagura kit, give you a look at like different finishes. And, one of the guys that I speak to semi-regularly, Jim, he got into the mid-range thing, and he was like really working it, from one of those Nagura kits, and that's where like a lot of excitement for me comes in, and he like felt some of that excitement too, and it's it's good when somebody else like picks up on what I'm putting down, so yeah, he's in the comments sometimes. I don't want to use his last name, but it's over there in Pennsylvania, and he's picked up a couple of stones, and he really gets into it, and that's what this is all about. It's not a matter of, I'm honing on a Jnat, so it's like 14 billion K, and my edge is sharper than yours. I mean, if that's where you're going, like, save your money, go buy a 30K Shafton Pro, and go do that stuff. This is about it being in your mind and honing at a different type of level. It's not Western thinking. It's not numerically whatever. It just is it just is what it always has been since the beginning of time. So have the penguins out over here. They don't normally come out at the end, so I figure I'll just do that. They weren't really showing in the beginning because I was setting up, and I got two cameras, and I'm still working this angle thing out. So anyway, so that's a quick look at the Gousa and a little bit about honing in general. And hey, look, however you hone is however you hone. As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. Like when I'm talking here, this is how I hone. So if that's not something that you're doing, that's very fine. I'm just talking about me. I really think these stones are all about like being in a different place than just working with synthetics. So I like to exploit those differences. Anyway, I'm going to run. because I'm on the way out to have some dinner. I think maybe some sushi tonight. Anyway, have a great time tonight. Get on the bench and do some honing. And have some fun, because that's what this is all about. And happy trails. Talk to you soon.